Hey everyone, this is DayTraderRockStar for DayTradingRadio.com, and in this video I'm going to issue a couple trade alerts and just talk over some active trades in the market this week. Right now it's Monday, so it's a day, the first day of the week. We put out the 10 for 1,000 watch list on Sunday night, or actually Saturday night going into Sunday. And these are just the stock setups using the methodology of my methodology, and how I trade multiple indicator setups, and basically take the risk out of each individual trade. We try to trade quality stocks. So I'm going to show you a couple of those setups that played out very well today, and actually show you a couple new setups that are going to actually work well. A couple off the 10 for 1,000 watch list that are really setting up. So this is actually Proctor and Gamble, and we talked about this one last week as it came down to the lower trend line. And then again, you could easily see here if you could just start to draw some of the lines in here. And I usually use the bodies as a point of reference instead of the closing wicks. And this was just a textbook trend line. It was a very strong trend line, and came up with the 200 period moving average, oversold stochastics. So really a multiple indicator setup here for a PG. And there's lots of people in the room actually take that trade and make a nice little profit off of it. And the stochastics got, it was everything right here was technically good. Again, fell into a category right across the board. It was a multiple indicator setup where we have an oversold stochastics, the first important indicator. We have a lower trend line support, another indicator. We kind of have a recognizable pattern, but I would say this is more of a, it's possibly a channel starting to develop here. But yeah, I would probably consider that a channel. So even a recognizable pattern. And even here we have a 5 to 7 day pullback from a 5 to 7 day rule. So all these rules leading up for excellent entry and a beautiful move in Proctor and Gamble. Now that was one. 3M is another technique that I use. It's called positive stochastic divergences, and that's basically, and again you can actually see there's an underlying trend line. This is actually went out on the watch list this week. So like I said, a couple of these went out this week on the watch list. Again, 3M was considered the kick-ass trade of the week, which is technically the best setup for the week, and which one I feel that has the most probability of moving up and fast. So actually this is today's move here. We broke out of here, and what I was looking at here is the pullback on the stochastic indicator. It's a nice momentum indicator. We got into an oversold level, and yet the price, before I put this trend line in here, you could actually see the trend line was holding up, but in reality you're actually seeing a sideways consolidation here too. We're not really getting any lower than this area, so we're really consolidating sideways in this range, and then today we kind of broke that range. So when I started to see that sideways consolidation, downward stochastics, that's a positive divergence, and that's what I use to trade to the upside. I just like to buy into that. So the buy trigger today was 88.54. We're traded at 88.79 now, 80. But first day, I'm going to look for a couple days, target $90 on 3M. But I just want to bring that one to your attention because of the great stochastic divergence. Now, as we trade, you trade under, with a what I like to call like a holster of different techniques that we could trade off the market. Most of them work with the 5 indicators setups, and most of them are pullback plays. But in some cases, you're going to get just a regular trending stock. So then we're going to use different techniques. One of them is the positive stochastic divergence on a slight pullback. A lot of them is just the 50 period moving average, oversold stochastic indicator. These are other techniques that that I like to use in case that we're not getting that 5 indicator pullback, which we like to look for. So Allstate was one of these examples. Again, you had a nice upward trend line. It came under the 200 period moving average, held the stock up here. We actually came down, touched it, and now today was one of the 2 stocks I said, watch Allstate. We're going to close high. We're going to break out here, and basically this was off the 10 for 1,000 watch. So it's a buy trigger 31.55, which technically took us out of this downtrending little pullback here. And I know some people mentioned that there was a possible, what do you call it, like a large pennant formation, which is more of a neutral pattern. But I don't recognize the pennant here when I have 2 previous trend lines here that are setting up for a upward channel. Upward channel is much more powerful than the pennant. and not even talk, and seeing that move today, we actually just, broke through the pennant formation right now. If that was a pennant formation, that downward trend line. So we actually broke through that on a good volume. So I'm going to look for this one to continue up towards the top part of this channel line. And this could actually bring us quite a distance higher, seeing how far the trend line here moves up. By the time the stock gets up at that point, we could be well over $32, well over $32.50, I should say. So Allstate looks very good going forward tomorrow. Actually, on the volume, I want to look for that follow-through day tomorrow on Allstate. Dollar General here. This was also a great setup, and I would consider this one now a multiple indicator kick-ass trade for the week too. It's the other stock I said we're going to close very strong on. We bounced right off the lower trend line. All you had to do is, and I was banging the table saying it's on the lower trend line. It's going to hold this lower trend line. Watch for that bounce. Everything was setting up here. Downward channel. Even though we are underneath the 200 period moving average, that still is good for me. Whenever you have the 200 just above the price level, lots of times you get that first move down to a lower trend line, and then you get that spring back up. So this is a great target to have where the 200 and the downward trend line converge again. That's a great target, a short-term target right now. But the channels tell me we're going to get a break up. Stochastics are oversold here, and everything is pointing to a nice explosion up here. So I have a really nice, and this one's just starting out, so not too late to get into this one at all on DG. Now Rovi, this one's we were on top of, and I just wanted to update you on Rovi. Rovi short-term target 66.50. And that's just using a measured move off of this lower trend line and making a parallel trend line up here. So around that 66.50 area, I would watch that. And at that point, we could actually see, maybe it coming back down here and just seeing how that will play out. Well, it could also move higher, but I definitely could see us moving a little bit higher, 68.50 area. For whatever reason, we start pulling back down here and we don't move up. This could easily turn into a wedge pattern. In either case, once you start getting down to this level, you're going to be aggressively buying the stock for a break back up. So just an update on Rovi for you. PCAR, someone brought this to the attention in the chat room. This has a nice 5 to 7 day pullback. This was an earnings. It wasn't even a miss. I think it was just, it was actually earnings dropped here. And we're going into the 5th day of the pullback, and Stochastics giving us a double bottom. I like it a lot here. So this is one that almost took a position in today. Probably we'll look at it closer tomorrow. And the ITW is another one I really like for tomorrow. This one's just starting off. Nice pullback, Stochastics, kind of a coiled Stochastics where we tightened, we started bouncing here a little. And the pullback held that 50 period moving average. And we're really starting to move up, and the Stochastics are already getting a nice move on volume. So this looks like we're going to easily take out the recent highs. So ITW looks great tomorrow. So all these are looking good for tomorrow. Just to go through them one more time, we have the PCAR, looks great tomorrow. Rovi just looks a little higher, 66.50. DG, best bet of the week right now, kick-ass trade. The Allstate also an excellent trade now up to this upper trend line and continue to move up. And this was 3M with a positive stochastic divergence, which was another great setup. And this one also usually gets a 2 to 3 day move off of a positive stochastic divergence pop. Volume was good today, so everything good on that. So hope you enjoyed that update. You can listen to me each and every day on the radio, DayTraderRadio.com, and where we do these trades live and point them out to you live and explain exactly why they happen, where to look to take profits, and where to look to get in. And the best education out there. Hope you enjoy that.